At this point, let's talk to Attorney Michael Yusingo, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Good morning, Attorney.
Good morning, Angelo. Good morning, Angela. And good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
All right, thank you for joining us. Ang daming bagong issue, Attorney. First off, I'd like to start off with the claim of the new ombudsman, no? Remulla, about the secret so-called decision ni former Ombudsman Martires regarding the reversal sa MR ni Senator Joel Villanueva.
That's a good, that's a good starting point sa conversation natin. But siguro gusto ko lang emphasize, for the benefit of all our listeners and viewers, we should keep in mind the context of the case.
Yes.
Yung case was about a lawmaker at that time, Congressman Villanueva, engaged in pork barrel corruption. I think importante yung context na yon because unang-una, we have to ask ourselves, or we have to ask the senators, when they were presented with that order, why did they ignore that fact na yung kaso na yon involved a lawmaker engaged in pork barrel corruption? No? So, and also, we also have to keep that context in mind dito sa pagsikreto, quote-unquote, ng dating ombudsman dun sa order niya to reconsider the dismissal, no? Given the fact that the case involved an incumbent senator engaged in, or believed to be engaged in pork barrel corruption.
That's right.
So, yung context na yun, dapat di natin makalimutan because it sheds, it spots a different kind of light sa mga senador natin and also doon sa dating ombudsman.
I think in relation to that, Attorney, a lot of people have a wrong interpretation of the powers of the ombudsman. While we understand recommendatory lang merely ang pwede niyang gawin sa lower and upper house, but it also states somewhere, I think I heard this legal luminary said, that even if he recommends, and it's up to the interpretation of the Senate whether to enforce this or not, if they decide not to push through with it, they have to have a valid and solid legal reason to cite why they will not follow. Kumbaga, kung may legal impediment, pwede. Pero kung wala kang dahilan na valid daw, you cannot deny yung utos ng ombudsman.
Well, I don't necessarily disagree with that view, but I would also sort of side with yung legal counsel ng Senado when he said that the ombudsman had no disciplinary authority over members of Congress, members of the Senate and the House. So that could be seen as the legal ground na huwag implement yung order. But that's why I want to emphasize the context. Kasi the context of that dismissal involved a lawmaker engaged in pork barrel corruption. Para sa akin, that should have triggered something in the minds of the senators at that time, na amongst them is an individual who cannot be relied upon to uphold the public interest. Kasi nga, engaged siya in pork barrel politics. So, that should have been grounds for expulsion, on ethical grounds. Kasi merong mga rules ang Senate na sinasabi nila, senators must be of integrity, dapat they can be held accountable, yung mga ganon, di ba? So if you have an individual there who was found to be engaged, remember, this was in 2016, so existing pa yung order of dismissal, who was found to be by the ombudsman to be engaged in pork barrel politics or pork barrel corruption, then dapat grounds na yon to proceed with the expulsion of that individual. But the senators at that time chose a different path, na they chose to protect their own. In other words, protektahan natin tong kabaro natin, isang tabi na natin yung public interest dito.
And no less than majority floor leader Soto pa nun.
Oh yeah. At that time kasi siya yung majority floor leader and committee chair, saying na parang they cite nga na under the law, walang jurisdiction ng ombudsman, 'di ba, sa impeachable officers, sa judiciary. So yun ang sinasabi na unless mag-file ng ethics complaint through Senate, then they can tackle that that case. Pero of course, yun nga sinabi mo, parang they chose to protect their own by not doing that. But my question here now, attorney, is there a specific ruling that let's say all decisions made by the ombudsman that should be made public? Reversal man yan or kahit anong decision man yan, kailangan yaan ay public?
Well, my quick answer to that is I don't know kasi ang ombudsman, it's not a court, no? Hindi naman siya korte. Ang alam ko lang, the Supreme Court is duty bound to publish all its decisions, no? Mm-hmm. But yung mga lower courts like RTC and Sandigan Bayan and CA, wala silang obligation to publish their decisions kasi ultimately hindi pa naman final yun, ano? It can still be elevated to the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. But actually, again, I go back to the context kasi at that point when Ombudsman Martires reconsidered the decision of Ombudsman Morales, this was in 2019, di ba? Yeah. He should have considered the context of the case. Remember, the context of the case involved an incumbent senator engaged in pork barrel corruption. So that should have compelled him to announce the reconsideration because that is public interest, right? That the context of the case demands public interest. And that means si Ombudsman Martires, kahit na ba sabihin na natin for the sake of argument, he had no obligation to publish the decision.
Right.
Public interest should have compelled him to make an announcement na, hoy, meron akong reconsideration dito because I believe, etc., 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because the public they have the right to know, given the fact that an incumbent senator is involved and believed to be engaged in pork barrel corruption.
Right. But the question is, attorney, kasi on face value, given the spirit of the law and yung function ng ombudsman, parang it is given everything that it decides in public interest should be outrightly released to the public. And the mere fact that the new ombudsman used the word secret decision means it should have been, si former ombudsman should have announced it na ito, I'm reversing the decision. Kasi nagpe-press conference yung mga yan pag may mga decision. So now, ang problem ngayon, it casted a doubt on that reversal saying, nako, baka nag-antedate o nag-backdate itong ombudsman just to save, I'm not saying galing sa akin yan, but may mga shadow of a doubt na ganun ang lumalabas na info.
Yes, you're 100% correct, no, na yung nature ng responsibility at duty ng ombudsman in a way demands complete transparency, right? Kasi nga, protector of the people siya, prosecuting corrupt officials, so that should, common sense will say that dapat transparent ka when it comes to your actions. So, the fact na hindi in-announce yung reconsideration and given also the context that it involved an incumbent lawmaker engaged in pork barrel corruption, that really leads to people thinking na baka nga there was an intent to deceive the public. Hindi naman natin sinasabi that that is the case. But syempre, it's only natural for us to think now na baka nga merong plano na lokohin tayo. I mean, bakit hindi isinabi? Bakit hindi in-announce? So, siguro, the learning here is for the new ombudsman, si Ombudsman Remulla, not to repeat the same mistake. Henceforth, dapat siguro yung ombudsman natin will be conscious about publicizing his every move, his every action.
And it was kasi, kaya we're all talking about it because it was widely covered by the media noong 2016. Then all of a sudden, there's a reversal of the decision we don't know about. So this would likely, you think that would likely set a precedent?
Well, sana hindi. No? Sana we should change our ways now. Na especially, kasi look at it this way. Noong 2016, there was a lawmaker engaged in pork barrel corruption. Parang natago. Nasantabi ng mga senador dahil nga for a legal reason. And then in 2019, the same issue na itago na naman ng dating ombudsman. Well, look at where we are now, right? We are now facing pork barrel corruption, not just involving 10 million, but involving billions.
Oh.
Isipin mo na lang if in 2016, let's just imagine, if in 2016, na-address na to ng mga senador natin that they say, hindi acceptable to. It is not acceptable for lawmakers to engage in pork barrel corruption. Expel.
Right.
I mean, that could have changed our trajectory, no? Baka hindi nabuo yung pork barrel cartel.
Correct.
Na kinakalaban natin ngayon.
Yeah,
of course, that's speculation, but I mean, may isip mo lang, right?
Ngayon, lastly, on my part, before we let you go, I think this is important also because another issue that arises from this is we're setting a precedent na every other ombudsman can reverse each other's decision. So therefore, if I'm a corrupt official, teka lang, mangungurakot ako on the 3rd year mark kasi alam ko in 3 or 4 years time, mapapalitan ng ombudsman na baka friendlier sa akin, then baka makaligtas ako. Kasi ganyan na nangyayari. From ombudsman to ombudsman, nag-iibahan sila ng decision eh.
Well, that's a fair point. That's really a fair point. And that's why starting now, dapat, we should be pressuring the new ombudsman to set, guardrails para hindi mangyari yun or at least to prevent that from happening. One siguro is to open the investigations to the public. Right? Right now kasi, ang nangyayari, nalalaman na lang natin when the ombudsman announces it or conducts a press con. Maybe it's time for the new ombudsman to make sure that all investigations from the time na they started, dapat bukas na sa publiko, alam na ng media anong nangyayari. I mean, meron na, yung communications technology na natin ngayon is very advanced, di ba? So, pwede itong magamit. So, tama ka. That's a fair assessment and the new ombudsman should address that para wala tayong pangamba na ganun na nga yung mangyayari lagi.
Well, ganun nga nangyayari ngayon. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo talaga ng trust issues sa government because of things like this, yung mga midnight decision, ika nga. But unfortunately, we don't have much time. Hopefully, we can have you again over next week. But for the meantime, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras, your insights, Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Thank you so much for joining us.
Maraming salamat din.